Tiffany Productions.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Welcome back to Warm the Crib Podcast. I'm Darien.
I'm Rahmonn, and thank you for picking up because I fucking fumbled. Before we get started, thank you everybody that checked out the first episode. We appreciate it. Appreciate y'all joining us on this journey. I'm doing like Darien here, hitting the mic and shit. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you all joining us on the journey and rocking out with us.
How was your week, man?
My week's pretty good. It's beautiful, sunny. And now it's going to be snowy and rainy again tomorrow.
Yeah.
But other than that, but more importantly to you, shout out to you and your wife celebrating 12 years.
Well, yeah, altogether it's 11, but we've been married for 7. So we're celebrating our 7-year anniversary of marriage.
Congrats, man.
I appreciate that. Let
me know how it goes because I've never made it past 7. So let me know how it goes after 7.
Got you. So far, it's amazing. And I feel like it's just going to keep getting better. So
that's what's up. I'm going to tell the listeners now what you did to us last week.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach, you didn't know. So last week, D leaves, and he says, I'm going home. Bet. So I go watch a little TV, and my phone is scheduled to go to Do Not Disturb after bedtime. So Susan comes out the room. She said, was Darien going home? I was like, yeah. He said he was going straight home because his wife's messaging me on the phone. Now, Darien's wife is the sweetest person I've ever met, but I know she got hands. So I was already nervous because I missed her call when she tried to call me. And then I'm like, where's this dude at? Darien's not the step out sneaky link type. So I'm like, where did he go? And I'm all nervous. And then finally at 3 o'clock, he's like, yo, my bad. I just passed out when I got home.
Facts. I was supposed to let everybody know I got home. I was knocked out. I was gone. Wife was blowing my phone up. I woke up 3 a.m. She is a little hot with me though.
I'm sure.
But yeah, everything
could have been worse. It could have been this week.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but everything goody though. Everything goody.
Do you believe in self-care for men?
I do believe in it, but I haven't done it.
Okay.
And I feel like that's something I should really partake in.
I was thinking about last week's episode, and I was thinking that again, kind of, we talked about how like, especially our generations and older, you couldn't be mushy. And most people look at self-care kind of like going to the spa and having a spa day, which that's part of it. So it's kind of like, oh, that's something women do. And it's really not.
Yeah.
I wrote the definition down because I knew I would forget it. But when I looked at it, it says the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's own health. And then another variation of that was the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness in particular during periods of stress. So it's important.
Yeah.
I just think a lot of people don't even know what it kind of entails. So
yeah, and a lot of us wasn't even taught what self-care is because being a man, you just had to focus on the bills, make sure everything was taken care of.
That was self-care.
Yeah, that was self-care. Like, as long as you ain't getting kicked out, you took care of self. Like, yeah. But nah, you really actually have to take time out for yourself to get your mental and your physical together. Because not everybody does that. Like, I don't even do that. And, like, I'm kind of glad we had this subject this week because it's something that I want to get into.
Okay.
So that's definitely something because I feel like if I were to self-care, I would have less stress and I wouldn't be as worried as I do at times.
Alex, who used to work with us, Fern, would always say, I can tell when you're not meditating or exercising because of how irritable I get. Mm-hmm. So another thing I never thought that I dealt with was anxiety growing up because it's weakness, right?
Yeah.
I'm not anxious. I'm just a little stressed right now and I'll get through it. And I noticed my trigger for anxiety is I get irritable. Everything irritates the shit out of me. Mm-hmm. And so when I do, and I'm not the perfect self-help guru, but I've learned some of the things that I need to do to kind of maintain a healthy mental lifestyle. Yeah. Because I think when my mental is right, I can kind of deal with any challenge. When it's all jumbled up, I'm, weak as a house of cards. You know what I mean? So I had looked up some of the things that they discuss, and then I was going to talk about some of the things. Let me ask you this right off the bat. Do you get pedicures?
Nope.
Would you ever?
It would take a lot.
You're robbing yourself. Just do it.
I know. I think you was the one that told me. Like, yeah. I heard that it's good and it's like it's relieving, but I've always had a thing where I don't show my feet.
Same thing here.
Like, I hate,
but
my shit busted, cuz. Like, I ain't trying to show nobody that.
You ever seen Fred Flintstone?
I am him.
I'm Fred Flintstone, flat foot and everything.
Right.
But I went with my girl last year. I think we did it for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
It is another level of self-care. It's just sitting there taking care of yourself, relaxing. You're on your feet all day.
Yeah.
You got to take care of your dogs. You're on your feet all day. It's literally your pedestal, your foundation. So don't put it aside. I remember the journal, which we put in your bag this time.
Yeah.
We talked about it like 2 weeks
Facts,
in a row.
we did. So I'm definitely going to try to start getting into journaling.
But one of the first points they talked about in the articles I was reading was like the physical health.
Yeah.
And like going to the gym, even going outside and walking and like absorbing vitamin D, like just doing something active every day makes a difference. And when you live in the Northeast like us, that gets challenging because I know there's days I wake up and I'm like, oh, it's snowing, it's raining.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go outside. But I kind of switched it to where I do yoga. That was another one that I discovered last year. We actually had to have these discussions when I was in school.
Yeah.
And I had to take the psychology class, and they talked about balancing your week out and scheduling out for like work, play, push, etc.
Yeah.
And one of the guys in the discussion was talking about, he's like, I don't know if you ever tried yoga. And again, when you hear yoga, what do you think of? What does your brain immediately see?
Women in tight pants, just, and now you want me to wear tight pants and stretch out.
I wear shorts. And even in the videos that I learned it in, I wear shorts. But just the stretching and the flexibility.
You can do that shit?
I'm not saying I'm the best at it.
Yeah. I know you be popping all types of bones.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I mean,
when we doing the Warrior 2, if you know yoga out there, you hear my ankles, because I'm flat-footed, my feet tend to lean toward the inner side of the bone. So it's like learning balance and then meditating.
Yeah.
Like meditating is one of my favorites. Like,
yeah.
because literally it's something that you could do for yourself that only takes 5 minutes a day. And for me, when I started learning to prioritize my self-care, because what would happen is like, oh, I'm busy. I got this mix to do and I got to get to work and I got this thing to do. I just won't go to the gym. And I would skip and I would keep skipping. But then my mental would suffer.
When you
as far
keep
as my
skipping,
body,
that shit get so comfortable, and then you just get back into doing the same thing that you was trying not to do. Like, you wanted to get healthier, but then you, just because you skip, you basically decided to keep going back into.
And it's like
yeah.
The man behind the can.
I don't know what's that about.
It's
all
all
right.
right.
That's all right. Put it on the list. It's like, you know how people say, like, in the moment, it's more expensive to eat healthy, right? But if you think about it in the long run, it's more expensive not to eat healthy because medical bills, pharmacy bills, just poor health. And so I kind of remind myself of that when I'm like, I'm going to skip the gym, or I'm not going to meditate, or I'm not going to do the yoga today. When I worked at the doctor's office, I looked at people who would come in, and you would see a 50-year-old, which I'm not far from, humped over and just everything's in pain and moving slow. And then in the next hand, you see this 92-year-old woman who would just walk and was upright and just alive and alert. I was like, I want to be that one. And so I remind myself, in order to be that one, I know I have to do these things and make this time for it.
Right.
And push other dumb shit away. What do you do now, or what do you want to try first?
I know I need to start working out.
Okay.
Because like, a lot of people have the stipulation, like, just because somebody's skinny mean they healthy and they're fit. No, like, I sit in the crib all day when I'm like chilling or whatever. I just play video games and just sit still. Like, I don't really be that active. So I do want to start like actually working out, and I want to start walking more, because I know my wife, she recently started walking, and like, she's in love with it.
Right.
And, like, every once in a while I go walk with her, but like lately, like you said, it's been cold, so we haven't really been doing it. But we actually did it yesterday, and we just walked around, and it was comfortable. It felt good. It felt like I was able to breathe better and all of that. Like, and it felt almost like a form of meditation, because it was nighttime, so it was quiet. Wasn't nothing going on, and like, it just felt good to just walk my wife and just talk to each other and enjoy the.
That's dope.
Yeah,
y'all relationship goals.
A lot of people say that. And that's because we're very like. We do how the old school marriages used to do. Like, you're not going to see what we're going through out in public. Like, we keep that in house. We work on it. We fix it, and then we go back out into the world and show everybody the positive side.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
I've only met one other couple, like, because most people, I think your human inclination is to just talk about the bad, because you want somebody to relate to what you're going through. I don't think your intention is to just be negative. And that's one of the other things that I found on the list was talking about journaling, and we talked about that on the last podcast. And one thing I didn't know, it wasn't my goal when I journal, but they talked about in the article that you should always speak positively.
Yeah.
Like, I use mine as a way to address the things that are bothering me. But now that I think about it, and if you want to look, I always, at the end, I write love, or I do write a positive word at the end. So I guess I'm kind of doing it. I just didn't realize I was supposed to be doing it that way.
Yeah.
But it talks about, like, you want to journal and talk about what you will achieve. And then it's also a way to go back and hold yourself accountable.
Right.
Like when you talk about setting goals and such.
Facts. And having a positive mind state, I feel like that helps with self-care. Like, because if you're always down on yourself and always going to be negative about the situation, like, it's not going to get better. You have to think about it as, I'm going to get through this, I'm going to figure out my way, and just push forward. Like,
and not beat yourself up, because I used to get, if I woke up late, right? Like, especially when I was traveling an hour, I had to get up a certain hour to have enough time to work out, and I would sleep late or miss it, and I was like, I'd be mad at myself all day. So, like, it was doing the opposite of what it was supposed to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I was big on that too, beating myself up. But that was part of being in a negative mind state.
I think it's a catch-22, because I think we always want to get better at whatever it is we're doing. And so sometimes in the pursuit of trying to make yourself better, you're a little too hard on yourself. You don't give yourself a little bit of grace, because you're human too.
Especially when you're trying to do good, you always think you're supposed to be perfect, and nobody's perfect. It's there's not one person on this planet that's perfect. So we all have our faults, we all have our mistakes. But as long as you push through it, be positive, and try to get better, that'll help your mind state, because that's part of your self-care. Like, your mind state is, if you're mentally not together for yourself, you won't be mentally together for your family. You won't be mentally together for anybody around you. So,
do you ever do affirmations?
No.
All right. So, embarrassing Rahmonn story. So I wasn't always the smoothest with the ladies.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm still not. I don't know. But I used to be down on myself, and I thought maybe I wasn't as attractive as the other guys or whatever, or, you know, I know I didn't have the best style because we didn't have expensive clothes or whatever. And not that you need money to necessarily have the best style, but whatever. And so I would think that I was less of a person because girls just weren't into me. And it turned out to be just confidence. Once I became confident about myself, including my insecurities, it was fine. But I learned to start looking in the mirror and say to myself, you're a handsome ass nigga. Like, you're a good looking dude.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, again, before I knew it was called affirmations, that was just kind of something that I did. And even to this day, I'll still look in the mirror sometimes and say, this is, this thing that you're wanting and you're working toward, it's going to be worth it. Or I give myself a pep talk. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No, yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. I feel like that's something I should probably start doing too. 'Cause that'll probably help me in the long run. Because I know it's a lot of stuff I want to accomplish and a lot of stuff that I will accomplish, but I feel like you actually saying it to yourself in the mirror is basically letting yourself know, like, I'm not going to give up on this. I'm going to make sure I get through it and all of that. So yeah, that sounds like a good thing to do.
Potting. There's another thing that's on the list of self-care for men. It's something social that you're doing, and you're interacting with other people who have similar dreams, goals, aspirations, struggles, etc. is actually a form of self-care.
That is interesting.
So it's a necessary thing. We do this every week.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, I've never been a open talker or anything like that. So that's why I actually like this too, because it's actually bringing me out of that state.
Okay.
Like, and I like this process, and the fact that we actually just sit here, be comfortable, and just conversate. Like,
so the person that I got when I met you at work, that was special. That wasn't for everybody.
Nah,
because I feel like we've always had conversations like this after a couple of weeks of knowing each other.
Yeah, nah. You was one of the few people that actually saw me at work. Okay. I normally don't show myself at work.
Because I'm honored. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem. But yeah, nah. A lot of people are not offended, but basically aren't ready for the real type of people certain people are.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm the type, like, I'll wait for a while to figure out, like, if you are okay with the personality that I have, because I don't have the average personality.
I think I knew the moment that I cracked the barrier.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a shot at it, see if you remember. We were setting up this display, and it had this big green screen thing to set up behind the chair. And I had put it on there wrong. And we were walking through the store with Boss Man, and he put it on there right. And I was like, oh, Boss Man, he know how to do it right because he got an OnlyFans. And he fucking died laughing. And I think that was the moment that I broke the barrier.
When you said that, I realized, yeah, that's funny. But nah, that's facts though. It's like, it's certain stuff like that. Like, I don't take offense to a lot of small stuff. Like,
Right.
It doesn't really, because like, as you know, my humor is like a little on the sick side. So like, when people say stuff like that to me, like, it's hilarious because that's just funny to me. But yeah, that's facts.
Zach took a chance the other day. Not Zach. Malik. Did you work with Malik, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Malik's funny as shit. We got to have Malik on the show one day. But it's going to be like an hour-long episode, so we got to plan for that. But so we were bugging with Malik because he was a little off topic but related. He was taking like a day to put together a chair. And you know it take most of us 15, 20 minutes with no interruptions. So the other day he put together a chair in like 15 minutes and he was like, Rahmonn, what do you think about this? You know, he has that voice. And he's like sitting in the chair all proud with his legs crossed. I'm like, good. And I'm like, it was good to see that you put somebody chunky in it to make sure it can support their weight. He's like, well, because I tried to reach out to your mom, but she wasn't available. I was like, bravo, sir. Yeah. Bravo.
Nah, yeah, Malik is quick with them comebacks, though.
Yeah. I'd say we're going to use some of your sayings just for fucking sound bites and shit. Let's see. What else did I have on this? This was an interesting one. CBD. They listed CBD oil as a way to take care of like pain and anxiety to help you with the other options. So that was one I didn't expect. But I think the most important one that most of us forget about is probably sleep and a good nighttime routine. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question. And I know he going to look at me weird as shit when I ask him this question. What's your nighttime skincare routine? Nighttime
skincare routine?
Yeah.
Wash my ass and go to bed. That's...
So one of the things they talked about you have to have a sleep routine because that's when your body recharges everything, your mind, your skin, your body, cells reform or whatever.
Yeah.
And they talked about even just wearing something that's like a nighttime facial moisturizer or a conditioner or whatever. So I have this one that's got like lavender in it, so it's already relaxing and shit. I know it's like such a girl. But see, and that's a bad misconception.
Yeah.
Because even sitting here talking about it, you hear your friends talking about you like, yo, Rahmonn is such a bitch.
Yeah.
You didn't talk about tampons. Is that part of self-care? But it's funny because we've always shied away from these things that are important for our mental health too.
Yeah.
Speaking of lavender, they talk about essential oils.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if y'all can smell it or it might be out. I keep peppermint in the studio.
Peppermint, that shit helps. My wife started using essential oils and stuff, and she had them around the house. And anytime she was like, especially the peppermint one, anytime that was going, like I felt mad relaxed and it felt comfortable.
Yeah, they say the lavender for comfort and the peppermint for focus. So like, I remember reading an article years and years ago where in certain Asian countries, they would actually pipe the smell of peppermint through their HVAC to keep their workers focused and working.
Yeah, that's okay.
But you notice the different effects. Years ago, again, I was driving in a car and I had a lavender air freshener. I would always be sleepy as shit. No, it was jasmine. Sorry. Like, why am I so fucking sleepy?
Yeah.
And when I took the air freshener down, I would wake back up. So there is something to essential oils and shit.
That's a problem. You going to sleep to an air freshener, nigga. You better not be driving, motherfucker.
Yo, I used to have a problem falling asleep driving all the time. All the time. Working 2 jobs. I was coming home and I wake up and I'm like, it's the grace of God that I got the distance. Because I'd be like exits.
Yeah.
Exits from where I remember I was to when I wake up and don't know how I got to where I got.
Sheesh. Narcoleptic?
No. I just, when my body, when I hear people talk about I can't sleep or I couldn't sleep last night, anytime you hear me say I can't sleep, it's because I chose not to go to sleep. I just chose to be awake.
Yeah.
If you ask me to, if you let me sit here for about 5 minutes and 10 breaths, I'll be asleep right here in this chair. All these lights on me, Zach in my ear, you in my ear. It's like a superpower. I've always been able just to go to sleep.
Oh, fucking, that's that old man shit. you know, old man, they pass out anywhere, motherfucker. That's funny. But nah, I guess that's a good trait because it's every once in a while. Sometimes I won't be able to go to sleep. Sometimes I'll pass out like it wasn't nothing like I did last week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But what do you do? Like when you try to go to sleep, you got a TV on?
Sometimes I had a TV on.
Are you fucking around on your phone while you're laying down trying to go to sleep?
Nah. When I'm trying to go to sleep, I put my phone down. I put my phone on the charger. Leave it over to the side.
Okay. That's good discipline.
Yeah. I be trying to, and then sometimes I be wearing my watch when I go to sleep. So I get a notification, I wake up and look at it. But other than that, nah. It's pretty easy for me to go to sleep, honestly. But every once in a while, if I had a long day, if I was doing a lot, like I go to sleep like it wasn't nothing. But if I literally was just chilling in the crib all day, it'd probably take me a little while to go to sleep.
Like part of my shit is naps. On my day off, I get up so super early.
Shit, I took a nap before I came in this bitch.
Oh, Zach just came from work and didn't get to take a nap.
Oh,
I'm a little jealous.
Sorry, Zach.
Wah, wah, wah.
We know you work hard at work and here.
Hey, yeah, you do.
We appreciate it, my guy.
You guys see that beautiful video footage last week? Zachariah Films.
Facts.
Right there. Maybe.
It's maybe. Got to time it right, motherfucker.
So one of the things they did say is most people get overwhelmed when they decide they're going to try and embark on a self-care journey. Mm-hmm. And they try all this shit.
And that's the problem. You try to do too much at once. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you for everybody. Because I have to recommit myself sometimes. Like my recommitment this week was do something active every day.
Yeah.
Because what would happen on my days off, I'd be so tired from being out at work that I just sit here and don't do shit.
That shit feels so comfortable.
And already a week back into doing it, I feel better already. And meditation. Like those are my two like absolute minimums have to
What's your meditation routine?
I do use the ones in Apple. I had this app that I found because every other meditation thing I found was like $99 a year subscription. And so I kind of started with this one Apple one that was free. It's a app called Oak. Yeah, Oak. And it would just they had a guided one. And it would just kind of tell you what to do, how to kind of think. And it would remind you that you may get a passing thought, but it's okay. But a lot of it is about focus. When I started, you'd focus on your breath. You would like feel your breath go in your nose and then back out your nose, feel your chest rising. And you focus your mind on that, and you'd be surprised how just teaching your mind to focus, you can learn to focus elsewhere. Then it went to other ones where it would have you focus on a particular feeling. Like I have one that I do for creativity. I have one that I do for being grateful. So like, especially when I'm going through some hard shit or some really challenging life shit, I do the grateful meditation because I'm going through some hard shit, but there's so much other shit that's going great that you tend to ignore when you're going through that hard shit. And so that helps me kind of like, all right, you're going through a rough patch, but you'll get through it and not be so, I dwell. Yeah. I am a fucking dweller.
Yeah, I am too.
And so that has really helped me to not dwell on bad shit and really just focus on the good shit. And that it's going to get better. And I know it's going to get better.
I should try that. Cause I need some focus. I got a short attention span.
10 minutes a day.
Right.
Minimum. Even if you break it up 5 minutes after you get out the shower or whatever, 5 minutes after you get home right before you go to bed. Like sometimes I'll just do like breaths. I'll just turn everything off and just focus on inhale, exhale before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
And like you just do it throughout the day. Honestly, it's like just breathing and focusing on that breath. And it makes a huge difference. And it's funny because I used to clown people who talked about like yoga and meditation all the time. Like that's bullshit.
I'm pretty sure everybody has. Pretty sure everybody has clowned it. But yeah, that's part of one of the things when they basically say don't judge a book by its cover. Like
or
just
don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, don't knock it till you try it. That's the one I was looking for. I don't know why I get the book from.
So pick two you're going to start with. Remember we talked about accountability.
Okay, yeah.
Pick two you're going to start with.
Two I'm going to start with. I'm going to try the meditation.
No. You know there's no such thing as try. You just do it.
I'm going to do the meditation.
All right.
And taking walks.
Okay.
Go walking.
And then we're going to check in on you next week, see how you did.
Yeah.
First week. All right. I'll send you the app to see if it's in the Android store.
Yeah.
Real quick, funny story before we go. There's this thing on Netflix you have to watch. This dude is my new fucking hero. So it's called The Tender Swindler.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts out with this woman talking about this dude she met on Tinder, and he was allegedly the son of like this diamond king over there in Europe.
Mm.
And the first date, he took her on a private plane and shit.
You met him on Tinder?
On Tinder.
And he was a... Okay.
Right. It's funny because I was going to say that because I'm listening to it. I'm so red flag. I was like, I guess rich people need Tinder too, I guess.
I'm following.
So, long story less long, because you got to go watch the documentary.
Yeah.
And if I had came across it before we met, I would have told you to watch it because we could have had a whole conversation about it. But this dude would meet, let's say, Sally. He's whining and dining Sally. Meanwhile, he's also talking to Jamila. I don't know. First name came to mind.
Mm-hmm.
So he's gotten to a point with Jamila where he says, I'm so important. These people are chasing me and they're looking for me.
Right.
So I can't use my credit cards. Can you send me money? And these chicks were taking out loans. And I don't know how it works over in Europe. But the one chick had taken out 10 separate loans totaling like 250 or a little bit better. And they would wire him the cash. And then he would send her a check. And he sent her a check to help her pay it. It was like a $22,000 check. And she's waiting for it to clear at the bank so she could start paying off one of these 10 loans she took out. And the check, they couldn't cash it. So he had no money. He wasn't related to this person. All the pictures that he would send them with the family, he fabricated them shits.
You catfished the shit out of her.
Listen, not proud of it. A long time ago, a woman gave me $3,000, and that's it was a crowning achievement in my life because I had never had anybody just
You ain't shit.
give me $3,000. And the shitty part is they took out a loan to give me the $3,000.
Oh,
but there's another story I'm not gonna go into personal why I felt
yeah.
okay. I just told boss man this joke and he was like, "You ain't shit."
I agree.
But I digress. So, and I felt proud of myself for $3,000, $250,000, and he had multiple women taking his money out for him.
Oh yeah.
And I could detect a handsome-looking guy. I don't see it there, so he must have had some crazy sales ability.
He had to have.
That's why he's my idol.
Like how
because of his sales ability.
Like one, I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, everybody know when you hear something like that, it's a gimmick. But for you to really sell it and they fall for it, and it's multiple people.
But why would you question it? If the first time you went out on a date and they took you on a private jet, why would you question they had money?
That is true.
And you had to have a
that jet was an Uber.
Might have been an Uber. Still, I'm sure it cost dough.
Yeah, it had to have.
It cost more than putting 20 in his tank.
Facts.
And he had them coming all over. You're like, bro, go watch this shit. And we'll recap next time we see each other.
That sounds good. That does sound good.
I was like, I'm going to watch it again, but I'm going to take notes.
Yeah. I definitely need to watch it. You said it's called what?
The Tender Swindler. It's not an ad. It's just a good show. I was watching. You looking for it now because we all know he's going to forget.
Yeah. My fault. I definitely will forget. So that's why I had to do that.
So I'm excited to hear how you make out next week.
Yeah.
And even sometimes
I need y'all both to make sure y'all text me because I ain't
too,
gonna
Zach.
lie.
If you don't meditate and see, Zach does one thing better than everybody. Every morning at like 4:30 in the morning, my watch goes off and says Zach has completed a workout.
Yeah,
fucking good for Zach.
Fucking good for Zach.
No, but it's motivational because I'm like, Zach's going to school, working full time. He could do it. I could do it, and I'm competitive by nature. So when I kind of see that shit,
yeah, it makes you get up and do it. Right?
Yeah. And I think that game, it's kind of like the gamification of it, like the closing my rings. I get excited.
Yeah,
I used to call it out on the radio.
It's an accomplishment.
Hey, I just closed my ring for the day.
It's an accomplishment.
Like, nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, that's facts though. It's an accomplishment, and I know that guy feel good to actually see it progressing and to feel better about it.
Do you feel different though when you don't do it? Like if you go like a couple days.
All this week until Friday, I was like, man.
And did you feel mentally different though?
Well, yeah, I was like, dang, but I was working out kind of at the house, but I was like, damn, I really should go to the gym. But I don't know what kept me from going at 4 a.m. I was like, I should go after work. I was like, I'm too tired after work. I go home. I was like, this Friday I'm doing it this afternoon, and I did it.
Okay. And that's probably the issue. That's probably the issue. He told himself he was too tired.
Yeah.
So he basically spoke the negativeness into himself, and then he was like, "Know what? Fuck it, I ain't gonna do it."
It's amazing how
you knew you was on what?
I was fucking on my sleep schedule going at 4 a.m. all the time, but then also you work and then I go to sleep at 11. So try to wake up at 4 a.m. from going to sleep at 11. That's barely.
Yeah, that ain't nothing.
That was the hardest part for me, learning how to go to bed early, because I'll stay up all night, work on shit, and go to sleep and get it the next day.
Nah, yeah.
And I had to, that was one of the hardest parts, was disciplining myself to say, all right, my watch says it's bedtime to start winding down. Let's do it. But in the end, when I do all this shit in concert, I feel fucking invincible. Like amazing. Like them rude ass customers, they don't fucking faze me. They could throw a whole roll of tape at me. It don't fucking bother me.
Oh, you still talking about that tape?
That shrine is still up for you, by the way.
I know. Y'all still got that. The tape the lady threw at you. She threw it at you. It was because she was mad at me.
But so listen, I encourage everybody to do your research, find something, whether it's reading a book, walking, journaling, exercise, pedicures, whatever it is, like find it and then remain consistent with it, because that's what really makes a difference.
Consistency is key. As long as you stay consistent with anything that you want to do, you'll be able to accomplish it.
Cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. Love the support we've been getting. Keep it coming in. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, share it with people. By the time you see this, you could also be listening to it on Spotify and on Apple, hopefully. There's a couple that went in like 5 days, and the other ones were like instant, but all your major platforms, without boring you with all the names. Where can they interact with us on social media?
Follow us at Warm the Crib, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All the same thing, at Warm the Crib, all one word. Follow us, like, subscribe.
And he was right, by the way. I'm a man enough to admit when I was wrong. I argued with you that it was Warm the Crib podcast, and it was indeed just Warm the Crib. So I'm wrong. Thank you guys. Have an amazing fucking week. See you next week. Peace. Oh, yeah. Happy Valentine's Day. We don't celebrate that because our anniversaries. His was yesterday. Mine's next week. We don't celebrate that shit. Make sure Susan don't say that.